Hey, gorgeous. Welcome to season 3 of the Hormone Puzzle Podcast. I'm your host, Coach Kayla Smith, CEO of the Hormone Puzzle Society, a women's health hub for fertility, hormones, and pregnancy, an integrative, holistic nutritionist, doctor of natural medicine and training, creator of the Hormone Puzzle Method, an infertility warrior, 2-time boy mom, and women's health expert. This podcast is for women struggling with infertility, painful periods, terrible PMS, or really just any symptoms of hormone imbalance that they are ready to eliminate for good. Tune in weekly as we interview amazing experts in the field of women's health, breaking down those hormone walls, nerding out on nutrition, and having way too much fun. Whether you're beginning your journey or you've been struggling for years, we're going to finally help you put those pieces of your hormone puzzle back together so that you can get pregnant and eliminate those pesky symptoms for good. Not to mention, stay pregnant, have a healthy super baby, and easy postpartum. Are you ready? This season is packed with even more expert guests, sharing groundbreaking knowledge, giving you that jolt of energy that you so desperately need, sending you lots of virtual hugs, and inspiring you to take your fertility into your own hands and make that baby. Thank you all so much for tuning in and being amazing listeners. So now let's get started on your road to transformation. On today's show, we have Phyllis Frempong, who is the creator of a unique formula where she coaches others on how to find the tools needed for lasting results. This includes providing personalized meal plans, workouts tailored to each client's needs and goals, as well as herbal supplements and other resources. Whether you are looking to eliminate the root of your fibroids long-term, or you're looking to get back into shape, she can help you make lasting changes that will truly improve your quality of life. Her formula can even be applied to eliminate fibroids and symptom management of blood pressure and diabetes, hormonal fat loss, healthy pregnancy, a sculpted physique, mindset coaching, nutrition education, meal plans, supplements, herbal guidance, and more. Womb wellness education can also combine with a doctor's appointment for additional support. So today we're talking all about fibroids and your fertility from the Fibroid Queen. Now let's welcome Phyllis to the show. Hey, Phyllis, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me, Dr. Kayla.
Yes, I'm super excited to talk about this. As I was telling you offline, I feel like this is so common these days and not enough people are talking about it. So I am stoked to dive in. So let's do that. Tell me a little bit more about you, kind of how you started working in women's health and with fibroids.
Yes, Dr. Kayla, I want to say thank you so much for having me. Just so grateful to be sharing this platform with you. And for those that are listening, get ready to get empowered, right? So take out your notes, tell a friend, because we need to get this information circulating. So my name is Phyllis. I am a nurse, personal trainer, and a womb wellness coach. And over the years, I have struggled with my own weight issues. And I too was plagued by the symptoms of uterine fibroids. I went from a burnt out nurse to dropping 30 pounds and rocking the stage as a bodybuilder. Wow. To later shrinking and eliminating fibroids. So through my own personal healing journey, I've learned how to eliminate these symptoms and really tackle it at its root and create this unique formula where I help others do the same. So I work with women around the world and it really connects back to my upbringing. I was able to witness my mom go through the pain and suffering with uterine fibroids. And I was relatively young. I was just 8 years old. So, just imagine being able to witness her being in pain. And I was a very curious child. And I asked her, what's wrong? Why are you in so much pain? She was either in the bathroom in the hospital, or I would see her crunched over. And there was a lot of memories that I've been able to build up inside me as a child, and realizing that my mom didn't really know what was going on with her own body, right? And she was dealing with small fibroids, and she was instructed by her doctor to get a partial hysterectomy. So at 8 years old, I left that experience with confusion, and all I remembered was the word fibroids. And I connected that to pain. I connected that to monsters, something that really hurt my loved one. And fast forward, that pain manifested into something physical. As I was 15 years later, I was in nursing school, and I was presented with those same symptoms. And I knew right off the bat, even before the MRI, I knew right off the bat that I was dealing with the same thing. And the MRI confirmed that I also had uterine fibroids.
Wow. What an amazing story. But I love to hear when people take their pain and turn it into their purpose, which it sounds like you did. And it's so crazy to me because my mother also struggled with fibroids. And I remember her just being doubled over in pain, and me thinking like, what is happening? And they also told her to get a hysterectomy. She refused. But so now I'm a big proponent of like, if you don't have to, don't do it. Don't do it. So I love that story, but thank you so much for sharing. And I can't wait to dive into your protocol and how you reversed your fibroids naturally. So before we do that, can you tell everybody listening, we hear fibroids all the time, but I don't know that many people know exactly what they are. So can you just give us like the layman's term? What is fibroids?
I love that you said the layman's terms, because I'm all about that.
Yeah.
Coming from a dynamic perspective, as I said earlier, as a nurse, right, medical background, and then also being a fibroid patient, and just being able to work with doctors and be in that position. It's like, just tell me what it is in simple terms, and that's what I'm going to do. And that's what they are. Fibroids are abnormal growths that appear on the uterus. So these growths are not going to increase your risk of any cancer, or you can just leave that out, and it doesn't turn into cancer. There's nothing cancerous about them. And that's why they're called benign. So non-cancerous growths. They can appear in different areas of the uterus, inside or outside, in between. And what is not often shared is that it can grow anywhere in the body. But for this conversation, we're going to just focus on the uterus.
For sure. For sure. And do we know what causes them?
Yeah, I love this question.
Yeah.
It's a very lengthy question. And I've been able to gain my own philosophy on just the triggers from my own experience of shrinking and eliminating fibroids naturally, and working with hundreds of women around the world as well. And some of the pioneers that I look up to, like Queen Afua and Jewel Pookram. But pretty much, Dr. Killa, and the rest of you guys listening out there, is that 3 things that I really want you to note and write down when it comes to the cocktail of what fuels fibroids. Number 1 is acidity. Number 2, chronic inflammation. And number 3, hormonal imbalance. Okay. Oh, you're like, what about the research? Yeah, let's go there, right? So research says, a lot of these things, from lifestyle, your age, your race, your ethnicity, they all play a role. But at the end of the day, a body that has everything that it needs, and there is a harmony between alkaline and acidity, there is no room for disease. Fibroids, diabetes, none of that. And from where we're coming from, the 1940s, when hysterectomy started to now, there's really been no significant change. If anything, the hysterectomy rate has gone up, and more younger women are getting that. So if we have a bigger picture, despite what research says, and look at where we are with chronic inflammation and what that's doing to our bodies, we can say that, you know what, it has something to do with those things. So that's my philosophy on what fuels fibroids to grow in the body, because it's really not the fibroids that's the problem. It's what's happening in the background that's feeding them. So chronic inflammation, acidity, and hormonal imbalance.
Interesting. And I completely agree with that. And I talk to my clients about this all the time. It's not what's coming into your body, it's the internal environment. What is your cells bathing in? And all of those things, I completely agree. And that's the thing too. We can fix all of those things. Those are things in our control. So, and then one other thing I wanted to touch on, and I wanted to get your thoughts on this as well, but do you think trauma plays a role in fibroid production?
Love, doctor. She said it, y'all. Did you hear her? What a powerful question. Yes. And I think that's not emphasized enough. When it comes to healing, when it comes to energy, we're all energetic beings. We're made of energy. Everything we see is made of energy. So knowing that if the energy is not moving, it's not released, it's not flowing, it starts to build, and that can turn into something physical and manifest disease. So I do feel that, especially among women of color, we've been generationally in a place of handling trauma and grief from our ancestors to different things in our life, very much so differently than I would say other races. And it's really important for us to be aware of it, as fibroids is more likely to happen in those of color, and recognizing that these repeated behaviors are causing a lot of havoc in our bodies. So knowing that my mom had fibroids, and I, as a young child, was witnessing all of that and felt hopeless because she didn't know what to tell me. She didn't want to tell me anything. And I'm like, what can I do to help you? So I was wearing a lot of her pain, and I started to personalize it. And that energy turned to something physical as I landed the diagnosis with fibroids, and my sister didn't. So it really goes to show that it's just beyond a genetic thing. It's not, oh, my mom had fibroids, so I get it. We can't keep using that as an excuse. It's really what you said earlier, Dr. Keela, is the environment, the internal environment, the external environment, and how you process things that have happened to you, like trauma, and how you've been able to release and cope with that. Because you may be walking around here with things that have happened to you years ago, but you still have not let it go, and your body's reliving that, and you have no idea. So yes, I believe trauma plays a huge role, and there's not enough research that backs that up.
For sure. And I was just thinking that when you were saying that about your mom, and many people would say it's heredity, but it's not. It's not. It's that she had trauma, her grandma had, her mom had trauma, her mom, and so on. And it's carried on through the generations. And I really believe that's one of the key pieces. And you're right, there's not enough research around this. And then I always take research and I'm like, okay, who's going to pay for the research? Is it going to benefit them to say that this was trauma? Maybe not. So
Exactly.
yeah. So let's switch gears a little bit and talk about how fibroids affect fertility. And so can you go into that a little bit? I know we said one of the key players is hormone imbalance, and people know listening that hormone imbalance affects fertility, but can we talk a little more about that, how this directly affects fertility?
Absolutely. So one thing to note, and something that your doctor may not tell you, is that fibroids don't necessarily get in the cause infertility or issues with pregnancy. But I am going to say location matters. So where the fibroids are located on the uterus can play a role on you conceiving, you getting pregnant, and sustaining a healthy pregnancy. So many women that join my program and are looking to conceive in the future, we focus on lifestyle things that we can do and holistic practices to really get the hormones under control. And depending on, timing and everything, I do have doctors like Dr. Keela and others that have similar backgrounds help out when it's needed. As I am a nurse and I, stay within my scope, but I do know there's a lot of things that we can do within the lifestyle and nutritionally in order to help facilitate pregnancy. So again, fibroids don't really cause infertility, but where they are located can play a role, especially for the fibroids that are inside the uterus. So knowing that they can, play a role as they are getting food too from your body as a host, right? And that's what the baby's going to do as it's developing. And on the flip side, something that you may not hear a lot of is that I know, and there is research that shows that many, many women conceive with no problem at all with fibroids, from the sizes of grapes to a grapefruit. And it just really depends. And you touched on this earlier, but I really feel your mindset is going to be a placebo effect in all of this. So we can say, oh, this and that, but if you're still dealing with trauma and you're looking to conceive, you're still dealing with some other things, and you have fibroids on top of that, yes, your risk is going to be much higher. And it's like, with timing, what is going to be the best intervention for you at this time? And I know we're going to get into that, but I would say, we are not really taking advantage of what we can do ourselves. And maybe it's getting a right coach, that has been through this journey with you, the right doctor, and saying, what, if you just do these things, we can try it out and you may be able to be successful in this, where it may not require for something emergent or something that can also put your body at a place of having to heal yet again. So when it comes to fertility, it's possible. There's definitely going to need be some evaluation and assessments, as every woman's going to be different. So don't allow fibroids though to keep you restricted and feeling like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? There's so many things you can do. And I want you to keep in mind just connecting with the right people.
For sure. And we're going to get into all of those things in the second half in a minute, but I do want to touch on a couple more things before we do that. So if we have tried all the holistic things, maybe we've taken your course, maybe we've tried everything, and medical treatment is necessary, and I have people ask me this a lot. So say we go in and they remove the fibroids. So is this going to be permanent? Or if we don't deal with the trauma and we don't get our inflammation and all of those things you mentioned earlier, our acidity under control, then they're going to come back. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that you mentioned that, because I don't feel that we are well versed from many practitioners when it comes to how surgeries and medications can only go so far and treat the challenge or the condition, but getting to the root of it is another thing. And you have more power, you listening, you have more power than you think. So when it comes to, you've tried all the holistic things, and I have a client that's in this situation, what we do as a team is I partner with the doctor. And I become the liaison between the client, the womb warrior, and the doctor, and help facilitate possible solutions. And sometimes that is medical intervention. And I've had clients that have had myomectomies and continue on with my program. And one thing about me as a womb wellness coach and advocate, I'm for the people. I am here for you, whatever decision you choose to do, but I want to empower you to know, like what Dr. Keela just said, is that which way are we going to go? But at the end of the day, what we're doing right now is not an option. This natural approach is not an option. It's a foundation, right? So that way, if you do choose to go and get a myomectomy, and what that is where a doctor is going to literally go inside you, cut you open, and there's different routes of doing it, but and get to the uterus and literally cut the fibroids off the uterus, right? Now, we said it earlier and mentioned things that are not seen that's going on in the background. So knowing that you physically went in and got the fibroids removed, that still leaves the lifestyle, the mindset, and everything else that fueled them to begin with. So that's where we come in and develop this foundation. So you are working as a prevention, having a preventative approach where knowing that fibroids, myomectomy, even hysterectomy does not get to the root of it. It doesn't get to the root of the triggers. And if you think about it, medications and surgeries did not cause them to get there. They're not going to permanently remove those triggers. So we have to look beyond. Go to medical way, whatever way you want to do, but have a foundation, build on it, do prevention practice, and also know that hormonally, the way your body communicates, things that are going on in your body still have to be addressed. So I hope that answers the question, but Dr. Killer, let me know if I need to clarify even more.
No, that makes complete sense. And I
Okay.
agree wholeheartedly. That's what I tell clients all the time. If you don't get your body into an optimal state, then whether you go and cut something out, you have something removed, you give a prescription, you go do IVF, whatever those things are, if you don't have that foundation, then you're back at square one. You're not healing the roots. So I love that you say that. I completely agree. So let's take a short break. We're going to hear a word from our sponsors. We're going to come back and we're going to dive into practical tips on what we can do to optimize our bodies to get rid of these fibroids holistically. And we're going to learn all about your programs and more. So we're going to do that in just a sec. We'll be right back. Hey y'all, it's Coach Kayla here. I hope you are loving this episode as much as I am. We will be back in just a minute, but first, a word from our sponsors. This episode is brought to you by the Hormone P.U.Z.L.E Society, a women's health hub for fertility, hormones, and the business of coaching. Whether you're struggling to get pregnant with pesky hormone symptoms, or you're working to build a career in the fertility and women's health space, we have you covered. Visit our website at www.coachkayla.com to learn more on how we can help you. Text the keyword fertility to 615-257-8855 for your free fertility meal plan. Hey, Phyllis, welcome back.
Thank you.
So let's talk practical tips. What are your top 5 things we can do today to optimize our hormones and start to get rid of our fibroids?
Yes, what a great question. And just a couple things I want to put on the forefront as we dive into that is that when it comes to eliminating fibroids, there's a dynamic process that needs to happen on a foundational level, kind of what we covered, as well as something that's progressive that you can build on, right? When it comes to healthier behaviors. And then having the mindset and belief system that you can do it, right? If you're not all the way there, at least you're determined to say, you know what? I have a practice, a way of doing this where I know that I can improve my situation, right? So one of the reasons why my program focuses on the way you eat, the way you think, and the way you move. So number one, you're listening right now and you're taking notes, looking at your environment to say, where you mostly hang out at, is this helping you or hurting you, right? So having a space, an environment that is cultivating where it helps you kind of get away from reality a little bit. And where we're talking right now, this is my space. This is like my creative room. And when I get in here, I feel at ease, I feel relaxed. So number one is change your environment. Number two, when it comes to nutrition, a lot of things we're eating is not really food anymore. And judging a box by its cover, it's just not enough. Just because it has plant-based on the label doesn't mean anything different if it has natural than, what it is. So really having an understanding to dig deeper and looking at foods that have ingredients that you can actually pronounce. Also, if you can see what you're eating and say, what is processed, what's not processed, and start removing those that are processed with carbs and sugar, and as well as soy and dairy. Why? Those things are usually triggers for chronic inflammation. And remember, I named chronic inflammation as one out of the three triggers for fueling fibroids. So the more you can focus on whole foods, fruits and veggies, whole grain, avocado, as well as greens, dandelion, green leafy vegetables, and grains like fonio, and things like that, it'll help you really tackle how your body functions from a gut level. And tackling your belief system, one of the things that really helped me have this much success is I literally had to become someone else. I had to change my identity. I am not the same person that I was 5 years ago. And in order to do that, it required for me to, again, change my environment, start to read, start to educate myself on things that I wanted to know more about. And that'll help me develop healthier practices. So I would write down, journal who you want to become, and what does this person look like? Do they have a name? For me, it was Fibroid Queen. Fibroid Queen is my alter ego. It's an affirmation to continue to treat myself like a queen because no one else will. And define that for yourself. So another thing is your belief system of who you want to be and what things you need in place to be that person. Another thing is join a group of the like-minded or people you want to be like. See where they're hanging out at, virtually or in person in your community, and be a part of their events. The more you are in synergy and in energy with others that are doing the things that you enjoy or want to be like, the more motivation and just growth you're going to have in that environment. And the last thing is accountability.
Yes.
I witnessed this myself, right? Dr. Keela, I'm sure you can attest to this, right? Is that having that accountability. It's nothing like being able to say you're going to do something and having someone really count on you to get it done. And the type of motivation that brings is something different. And that's why having a buddy is a huge part of my program. So when a woman joins, she's automatically set up with another buddy. So that way she feels supported and she has someone to talk to other than myself when it comes to being able to get success from the program. So those are my tips.
I love it. I love it. Such amazing tips. So thank you for that. And I did want to dive into one piece of that. And I get this question a lot. So let's talk more about soy. I'm sure you get this too. And I've looked at the research and it's kind of all over the place. So what are your feelings? Do you think we should be eliminating soy, or if it's from whole food sources, like a whole food, a tofu or a soybean or something like that, it's okay? What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, that's such a good question. And I do feel like there's some personalization that comes in with that. Like a lot of the research backs up that, if you're in menopause and you are of one that is low on estrogen, it's not really a factor about having estrogen dominance, then soy here and then may not be a huge concern for you, right? But for others, and I feel that even when it comes to your skin pigment, I feel that our melanin receptors of those of color respond differently to food sources like soy. I feel like it doesn't metabolize like it should versus someone else who has a lighter skin tone. And soy in the States, I feel is a lot different if you were to go to like Asia or something like that. I feel like it's made differently. And, some may say, oh, Asian people, that's all they eat and they have no problem. Well, they're genetically inclined to eating those type of foods and their body responds very well to it. But for you being of a different ethnicity and a different environment, and getting it engineered, this food source engineered in a different space, it all plays a role. So I really personalize it to the client, Dr. Keela. But I would say for the most part, starting off in my program, I do suggest women just eliminate it, at least for now. Let's get you balanced and all that and revisit it later.
For sure. For sure. I love that. And I completely agree. I think it's bio individuality, and we need to really be looking at what works for you. And it's not like a blanketed eliminate or not. So I love that you say that. So tell us more about your programs. How can we work with you, and dive into that a little bit?
Yes. So my programs are really adopted from my personal experience of eliminating fibroids on a foundational level. So anyone coming in, no matter where you are, will have their own unique setup as we help and cultivate you to reach success. One of the things that I do is an interview, right? You get a chance to meet with me on a consultation, see what I'm about. I can see what you're about and see if we're a match. If we're a match, we continue, because I learned very early on that it's self-care, and self-care goes both ways. So it's not aftercare. So knowing that I've invested this energy into you, the same thing you're going to invest into yourself. And we have to, make sure that we're on the same page, as there is some self-responsibility and accountability you have to have. I just give you the directions, but you have to drive there. And if you're coming in with the expectation of this is just going to take everything away, this is not where we're going with it. And we have a misunderstanding. So I do an interview process. You schedule consultation. It's totally worth the investment. Most women leave it feeling empowered, whether they can choose to continue or not. They feel like it's like a mini info session. And this is where we go through what herbs to take, what foods to eliminate, what the program looks like, what to expect. And it's very hands-on. I don't want you coming in and feeling lost. You are definitely supported. You have access to getting a hold of me or a buddy, and you are given the tools on what foods to eat, a meal plan, a workout regimen. And Dr. Killa, I know you, with you being a firmware trainer, you can relate to a lot of the exercises that we're doing as far as standard programs. Sometimes are regressing our results when it comes to I'm sure, right?
I mean, that was my issue too. I was working out entirely too hard as a personal trainer. I thought I needed to be skinny and that was healthy, but no, it's not what you need for fertility or hormones or any of it. Yeah.
Absolutely. So one of the reasons, as a former bodybuilder, I developed womb wellness workouts. So these are workouts I created that really facilitate the mind-body connection, breathing, and really tricking the nervous system. So these intentional movements I put together that really center the core and the pelvic floor would help you get more healing out of your movements that you do. So being able to have a workout regimen that's going to help your body function as one, right? Once it starts to get on the same page, it can help your hormones and things like that. And as Dr. Keela said, sometimes these HIIT workouts, these CrossFit training programs are not doing you justice, especially if you have the common symptom with uterine fibroids, which is heavy bleeding. And we don't want to be doing that. And your heart rate is ramped up. That's just a recipe for total chaos, right? So being able to do womb wellness workouts, as well as getting the mindset coaching. I empower you on these coaching sessions that we have to really reevaluate your belief system, that cultivates you better, right? A lot of things that my doctor has told me, what I've learned from my parents, are based on their opinions, and their opinions sometimes does not have to be mine. So being aware that you needing a belief system that cultivates you is super important, because what you've believed up until this point has got you where you are. So you're suffering right now with uterine fibroids. So we need to look and say, okay, something is not adding up right. So we need to reevaluate from a mental, emotional, spiritual, physical approach. And that is why the holistic way, and it's unique to you, right? Because we could say holistic, but that may not be the holistic you need, right? So a unique holistic approach that really gets the body back on the same page and not be fragmented. And that's what the medical approach does, is just looking at the middle of the body when it comes to uterine fibroids. And then what I've been able to do and see success in, not only myself, but other women that have been through my program and shrunk fibroids and build businesses and become a different person after this, is that we really need to tackle this from a whole body perspective and know that medications and surgeries are just going to treat a problem. It's like putting a Band-Aid on an open wound, right? Like mowing the lawn and cutting the weeds, but we haven't really used the right chemical or fertilizer to get the weeds out. So we have to dig in, right? Dig in. And that's what my program does. And it does present the opportunity for you to join by first starting off with a consultation. And through that consultation, you're going to get a lot of valuable information. So it's worth the $97 investment. We do up to 90 minutes. And, through that, you can really feel empowered to say, okay, this is what I want to do. Or if it's like, you know what, I am going to go the surgery route, great, let's get you prepared for that. Let's facilitate what you need to have a good post-surgery healing process. So that way we can get back on this and help you prevent you from getting back in that situation again. So as I said earlier, I am for the people, and I'm here to empower you, help you build a new you, despite whatever approach you decide to take. But at the end of the day, we have to look beyond just a surgery or a medication.
For sure. For sure. I love that. Sounds amazing. So tell us, where can we find you? Where can we learn more about this awesome program?
Yes. So at Fibroid Queen, I pretty much keep it simple. It's at Fibroid Queen on Instagram, TikTok, Clubhouse, and then fibroidqueen.com is my website. But if this resonates with you, or you know someone, because 1 out of 8 women in your life will or have uterine fibroids, pass the message along at Fibroid Queen. And you're ready to take that first step, right? You know that you need to make a change. You're tired of the suffering. You're ready to do something. Schedule consultation at Fibroid Queen. And I'm here for you no matter what you choose to do.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much, Phyllis. It's been fun getting to know you and having you here. So thank you. And I'm so, so thankful for the work that you do, because as I said earlier, it's very needed. So thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Keela. Thanks for those listening.
And thank you, ladies, for listening to the Hormone Puzzle Podcast. We'll see you in the next show. Bye. Hey, hang on just 1 second before you go. I want to make sure that you are aware of all of the amazing free resources that I have for you on my website at coachkayla.com. From a fertility meal plan, a cycle syncing quick start guide, a holistic healing cookbook, as well as master classes, blog posts by me and some amazing experts in the fields of fertility, hormones, and nutrition. So many wonderful resources that will help you on your journey. And I wish there had been something like this when I was going through my 2 years of infertility, but there just wasn't. And so that's why I decided to create all of this for you. So make sure that you go and check it out and you take advantage of this plethora of support that I have provided for you. And spoiler alert, these were some of the same tricks and the same foods that I used to get myself pregnant, not once, but twice, even after my doctors said that I couldn't. So I know that these things work. So make sure you take advantage of that. And I cannot wait for you to be my next success story. So thanks, love. See you soon. Thanks for tuning in today to the Hormone Puzzle Podcast. Check out the show notes for today's episode at CoachKayla.com. If you like what you hear, please subscribe and leave a review. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you next week.